What up, everybody? It's your man, MrMelvinnTV, coming back with another one. Just want to make a quick video saying that how men suffer in silence. They have to suffer in silence. You know, the minute you try to, okay, let me back up a little. Men suffer in silence, man, and people in society don't seem to care because we've been met with this notion that you're supposed to be a man, you're supposed to man up, pull yourself up by your bootstraps, all that nonsense, right? So as a man, for some reason, you're not allowed to act out. You're not allowed to voice your opinion today in the 21st century because if you do, you'll be considered sassy or you be considered as being toxic masculinity, all this other nonsense, right? So men have always been bombarded by the world and have to go out into the world and face the world and come home and try to provide and protect and all that stuff. Right? Then sometimes you come home and you want to tell your woman, your wife, or whomever, what's going on with you and what you're going through, they make your life hard somehow, which is weird. Or they'll take the information you just gave them that you probably been keeping to yourself for years, and you just confided in them and gave them this information, and later on in the argument or something, they'll use it against you. Well, that's why when you was 5, blah, blah, blah. Wow, I told you that in confidence, not to use it against me as a weapon later. And that's one of the main reasons why men don't open up. And this is one of the main reasons why men just suffer in silence because most guys don't want to open up and give people information because it may be used against them later. So you can always say like, okay, well, maybe you hang around the wrong people. It'll be the case. I give you that. But if people around in their circle, that's all the people that they know and the people that's in their circle, they try to confide in them, it just backfires on them. Make men not want to open up, then they have to suffer in silence. This one's going to be a pretty long video. It's not going to be a short example, man. Suffering in silence. And sometimes that suffering in silence could lead to guys unaliving themselves. This guy I used to work with in Vegas, man, Las Vegas. I used to be nightclub security in 4 nightclubs in Las Vegas. And this guy I used to work with, we kind of like clicked right away because he was from Louisiana, I was from Louisiana. And he was from this place called Homer, not Homer, that's down there by New Orleans. Homer is at the top by Monroe, stuff like that, Monroe, Louisiana. And we clicked, man. We got along well. We were both Virgos. We were both from Louisiana. So we both was cool with each other. But we just never knew he was suffering in silence. I mean, he suffered in silence, and we just never knew it. We rephrased that. And make a long story short, I'm not going to mention his name. And the people that work nightclub security with me that's on my social media, already know who I'm talking about. One night we came to work. He's like, what's such and such? I'm sitting there looking for him. He's not there. Then, we went on work the shift, crazy crowd, whatever, celebrities and stuff. And the next day, I just got home because we went and hung out after work. And I just laid down, man. And one of my boys called me. He said, hey, man, you hear about such and such? I said, I mean, was an accident or something? They're like, no, man, he unalived himself. And I was like, what? I said, no, man, quit playing, dude. That dude ain't did that. He was just too cool. It's just like you never saw it. There was like no signs. He never looked depressed. He never looked like he was spacing out or nothing like that or crashing out on people. You never could see it. And that was crazy because what he did, he left a letter before he unalived himself, thanking everybody that he worked with. He thanked the director of security and a couple other people for hiring him and mentioned a lot of us by name, thanks for being my friend and all that. And the reason why he unalived himself is because he missed his wife. What's crazy is she had unalived herself years prior. So he was missing her and wanted to be with her. And I was kind of mad at him. I'm not gonna lie, dude, because he had a 9-year-old son at the time. Like, dude, I mean, you know, his mom did unalive herself. Why would you turn around and do the same thing and leave him by himself? But but you just never know. Men just suffer in silence, man, which is crazy. And like I said, we want to open up to people, but you can't because everybody want to judge and talk shit and then use it against you later as a weapon, which is crazy. Society gives this thing about men like we're supposed to have all this shit figured out. No, that's not the case. Especially you got this skin. No, it's even more pressure on you. You know, it's just men suffering in silence, man. It's not cool. And you know, to tell you the truth, it ain't a black thing. I done met white guys that suffer in silence. I done met Asian dudes that suffer in silence. Not a whole lot more Asians, but a lot more definitely white and black and Hispanic men who suffer in silence because they can't speak out. Yeah, God, men just have to suffer in silence, and it's just so sad. So you just never know. Men have to suffer in silence, man. It's some sad shit. You can't open up to your lady most of the time because sometimes they'll use the shit against you as a weapon, especially if her head not in the right place. That's not me saying you can't open up to no woman. That's not true. A lot of women will understand and they'll have your back, and they'll be able to give you some good advice. But suffering in silence for men, that's just tough. Anyway, it's your man, Mr. Melvin TV, coming back to you with another one. Don't forget to hit that like, share, and subscribe. Hung around this long to hit the rest. All right, I'll holler back.